Welcome to the session on Interstate Migrant Workmen Regulation of Employment Conditions Service 1979. On account of hiring large amount of contract labor everywhere, on account of shortage of particular set of labor in a particular state, the interstate migration has been taking place. Here, the middleman, namely the contractor, plays a vital role. Normally what they do, they go to different states, collect a group of people, brings them over to another state and hands over as supply of labor and gives to them. The question is, who is going to take care of that? Who is responsible for it? And who takes care of their social security measures? What are their safety? Are they being exploited in terms of everything? Has become a question of debate and a matter of concern. Hence, under these circumstances, the Government of India had to bring in this legislation. So, this is an act to regulate the employment of interstate migrant workmen and provide their conditions of service and matters connected therewith. The applicability, this act is applicable, we have to be very clear here, it is not like any other act. To every establishment in which 5 or more interstate workmen are employed or were employed during preceding 12 months, or to every contractor who employs or employed 5 or more interstate workmen on any day preceding 12 months. So this is the thing, and immediately this act is applicable to establishment as well as the contractor. The definition of contract is also quite elaborate here, in the sense that the relation establishment means a person who undertakes, whether he is a contractor, independent contractor, an agent, employee, or whatever name you call, to produce a given result of the establishment, other than may supply of goods and articles, by he supplies employment of workmen, supply workmen to the establishment includes a subcontractor, agent, or any person by whatever name they call, who recruits and employs workmen. In other words, a contractor is one who employs people through his agents. Employs such people, he is a contractor under this particular act. An establishment means an office or a department of government, local authority, or any place where any industry, trade or business or manufacturing occupation it takes place. Definition of interstate workman is also defined here. Means any person who is recruited by or through a contractor in one state. So this is very important. He should be recruited by or through a contractor in one state under an agreement or other arrangements for employment in an establishment in other states. So it means that the interstate workman means he is a workman employed by the contractor or through his agent to work in different states. So this is the definition of interstate migrant. Here the responsibility is more on the contractor who engages these interstate migrant workmen. Wages, of course, it has the same meaning as defined in the Payment of Wages Act. It means that it has got a wide application that includes if all allowances, including basic and DA, all allowance payable, means it is the wages under the Payment of Wages Act. Here the definition of workman is exactly similar to that of definition what we discussed under the Internal Disputes Act. It means that a workman is one who is not in the supervisory or managerial function. Otherwise, everybody is a worker under this act. He may be employed for skilled, semi-skilled, unskilled, manual, whatever it is. But if he is not holding the position of supervisory or managerial, then he continues to be the workman under this act. Now here there are certain regulatory provisions. It means that registration of establishment employing interstate workmen. Here the rules specify that every principal employer in an establishment to which act is supplies shall make an application for registering officer in such form or manner as prescribed in the state government apply for registration of the establishment. Then, if they don't take the registration, still employs, it means that if you don't take any registration from the authorities, then prohibition against employment. It means that no employer of an establishment shall entertain or recruit interstate migrant workmen. So he is totally debarred from that. It means that if you have to engage interstate workmen, it is necessary that you have to take the registration. Similarly, the Act also stipulates that the contractor also shall take license from the authorities before he recruits or after he recruits. Here also there is a bar. No contractor shall depute any workman to any establishment if there is no registration. So here, if there is no registration license, the principal employer cannot have any interstate migrant workman, and the contractor also cannot supply any contract workman to any establishment if it doesn't have a license. Then the contractor who submits the application for license may be required to furnish security on the basis of following factors also. The licensing authority may demand on the contractor to provide security for various matters, because it is in the interest of protecting the interest of the interstate migrant workman. Tomorrow he may disappear, who knows? For this position, what are the sureties? Wages equivalent to 1 month period. Then provision for medical facilities and protective clothing and provision for drinking waters. Provision for restrooms, creche and canteen where applicable. Provision for accommodation. The contractor who submits the application for granting of license, the license authority may be directed to furnish the security on the basis of some factors. It has been narrated in the rules itself. But what are those factors are? The wages for equivalent to 1 month wage period, then provisions for medical facilities, protective clothing and other things, provision for restrooms, canteens and wherever applicable, then provision for accommodation, journey allowance, number of migrant workmen and duration of work. All these factors to be taken into account, and the contractor may be required to furnish the security on the basis. Then on this basis of due investigation, the authority shall issue a license. Once license is granted, may be subject to such conditions as may be specified on his behalf also. Some conditions may be out. This license can be revoked or suspended or amended also if the license authority intervenes and he thinks that there is the license has been granted to him, or he has obtained under misrepresentation or suppression of any material fact, or the holder license has without reasonable cause employee failed to comply any of the conditions stipulated in the license. Under these circumstances, the authority can revoke, suspend the license also. Now here the duties and obligations of the contractors are very much here in this particular act. Every contractor who employ any migrant workman shall submit the particulars in Form X to the authorities of the state from which he is employed and the state which he is engaged. See the very peculiar thing. He has to submit the particulars in a particular forum to the state from which the migrant workman has been recruited and the state in which he has been employed. So both the states he has to submit the particulars. And the contractor also shall pay to the workman return fare from the place of employment to the place of his residence on the home state on the expiry of employment in the case of this thing. It means that the migrant workman shall be entitled to for the return fare, and contractor has to pay in case his services are terminated or incapacitated due to employment injuries or continued illness or cessation of work for workers no fault of the workman or resignation from service. For these factors, the contractor shall pay the return fare to the migrant workman. And the contractor also shall have to maintain a passbook with a passport size photograph of the workman of each migrant workman, which contains all the particulars, like for instance the name and place of establishment, name and place of employment, the proposed rates and modes of payment of wages, the displacement allowance, the return fare payable to the workman on the expiry of the period of contract, deductions made, and also additional information, mainly the date of recruitment, date of employment, total attendance, wages earned, deductions, etc. to be maintained for each wage period, and also name and address of the next kin to the migrant workman. All these particulars has to be in the form of a passbook, and he should maintain, and of each workman he has to maintain it. The contractor shall also ensure the working hours, holidays, wages shall be same as those applicable to the other workmen. It means if he deploys any migrant workman to any institution, any establishment, he has to ensure the working hours, holidays or wages are the same as those applicable to such other workmen. Then, no interstate workman shall in no case be paid less than the prescribed minimum wages in the Minimum Wage Act. This is a very, very important condition. Another thing, displacement allowance. This shall be paid by the contractor to every migrant workman at the time of recruitment, a displacement allowance equal to 50% of the monthly wages payable to him, or 75 rupees, whichever higher. And this money shall not be deducted from his salary at any point of time. Then journey allowance. Journey allowance is sum not less than the fare from the place of residence of the interstate workman to his state to the place of work, and the return fare has to be paid by the contractor. Then other facilities to be provided by the contractor to ensure regular payment of wages to such workmen, ensure equal pay for equal irrespective of gender and sex, to ensure suitable conditions of work to such workmen having regard to the fact that they are required to work in when they stay from their own state, to provide and maintain suitable residential accommodation to such workmen during the period of their employment. This is one of the important thing. To provide prescribed medical facilities, and to such provide protective clothing if it is the winter or if it is a cold state, cold country, cold state where he is employed, he has to provide warm and protective clothes. In case of fatal accident or serious bodily injury, and report them as such at both the states and also next kin of the workman. The responsibility of the wages is mainly on the contractor. He has to pay the same wages on time as per the Payment of Wages Act. Payment of wages shall be made in presence of representative of the employer. Then the employer shall certify the payment has been made in his presence by attestations. The contractor fails to pay the wages or delays, the employer shall pay the same and recover the same amount from the bill payable to the contractor. So this is the joint responsibility of the contractor as well as the principal employer. Now here, any dispute relating to the interstate migrant shall be deemed to be an industrial dispute under the Industrial Disputes Act, and matter will be taken further. As far as the medical facilities are concerned, the contractor shall provide as stipulated in the rules. The rules clearly says medical facilities, he should provide free cost including hospitalization for migrant workman and his family members. First aid kits he should make available. Protective clothes against cold weather, drinking water, latrines, urinals and washing places, restrooms and canteen if the number exceeds 100 or work beyond 6 months. And important thing is the provision of residential accommodation. Then free legal aid to migrant workmen. This is available in case the workman or interstate workman or his legal heir or a party in a proceedings under Payment of Wages Act or Women's Act or Industrial Disputes Act or under Employee Compensation Act, free legal aid is to be made available to the migrant workman or his legal heirs. So this has to be approached to proper authorities and get the redress done. So in short, this is about the Interstate Migration Workers Conditions Worker Act and a short presentation on this. Thank you.